Hey y'all, what's up? I'm back, your girl G. Welcome back. Still in bed. As you can see, I just got done talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, and now we're gonna talk about Martha's Vineyard. I'm trying to knock out these videos before I get into watching this episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey. The reunion is concluding, and I definitely am ready to get into that. But Martha's Vineyard, let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. This was a pretty good episode, y'all. Silas, piece of work. He is the quintessential military man. The quintessential narcissistic military man. It's quite sad that Jasmine, you got your wrapped up in this type of, relationship. But, what can we do? We'll see how long it lasts. That part. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into how the episode started, which is with Jasmine. Speaking of, she kind of starts breaking down. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that she didn't realize she triggered Jordan in the way that she did. I don't want to say triggered, but the way she came out of her came after. I think it kind of like made Jasmine realize, dang, I'm going after her, wanting to be married, and maybe really deep down, as she expressed, she's feeling isolated being the one that's married. So she thought she would be able to fix that feeling if she, partners off her, girlfriend with a guy, and so, she's married and I'm married, then I won't feel as lonely. But you're lonely in a relationship because Silas is isolating you, point blank, period. Like, he don't want you hanging out with your girlfriends. And so that, when she said that, she was like, being married, in a group of single girlfriends, it honestly can be isolating. And I do believe her when she says that. Jordan was like, yeah, of course things have changed, but, obviously we're going to work to, still be friends with each other and, remain in a relationship in a capacity that, may be different, but we're still going to be friends. Bria in the confessional was not here for it. She was like, if you felt isolated, it's because you did it on your own. And I was like, I mean, touche, she wasn't lying. Like, Jasmine, at first, it was real, I'm Stepford wife, the quintessential, home Betty Crocker. She felt so good to have a ring amongst all her single friends. So much so, she was literally telling Bria, like, she don't respect her relationship until they're married. Like, that's how, uppity she felt about herself. But then you start to realize, wait a minute, these wifely duties, and this expectation, like, this isn't what I signed up for. And you seeing all your friends out single having fun, and you over there with a nigga who feel like he can tell you what to do and speak to you, certain type of way, it definitely can make somebody feel like, hold up, wait a minute, wrong road. And I feel like Jazza right now is feeling like she went down the wrong road. So, she cried, and everyone was like, there for her, and they appreciated her vulnerability. Jason, her friend, he started talking, but he was drunk and kept going and going. Finally, Bria was like, get to the point, Jason. Everybody started like busting out laughing because it was like, come on, bro. Like, we done went from chapter 1 to chapter 30, as Nick said. Simon, he get too drunk. Alex drive his car home. Everybody on the way home, was just, good, feeling good for Jasmine and whatnot. So they get to the house, and Bria thought she was gonna get some because she's like, what were they talking about? Bria said something about like, now this Simon's here, we're gonna have like a sex competition. And they was like, and Amir was like, no, we not, because I'm not sleeping on the couch tonight. This is what we not gonna do. Not on duty. What y'all not finna do is try to have, y'all's version of a porno versus. That's what we not gonna do. They make it back to the house, and go to bed till the next morning. They wake up, and Jason's talking to Jasmine downstairs because she got to get up and get on her routine. We'll talk about routine later on the review, but got to get on her midwife routine. So she downstairs with Jason, and he's talking about how he appreciated her vulnerability, and it was good for the house. And Silas comes down. Girl, when she took out that goddamn croissant with cheese and that shit was burnt, Silas looked so upset. He looked so mad. he was like, he was just so disgusted. Like, ugh. Like, you messed up. Ugh. You burnt my food. Ugh. Silas definitely looks like a, it's supposed to go cheese then ham, not ham then cheese. You didn't do it right. Like, he, and then matter of fact, when I saw the preview for next week, he got into her about how he's like, you can't even iron right. Who doesn't even know how to iron? Like, he was really belittling to her. And that's next week. So like, we started seeing some traits in Silas this episode that just really kind of solidified how everybody was feeling about him. Not only are you controlling, but bro, you got some traits about you that is real stank face worthy. So yeah, everybody's waking up. And basically the day is set for them to have like separate days. Essentially, the boys are gonna go out and the girls are gonna go out. But as of right now, the girls are getting ready to do like a little spa, a little indoor spa situation. So Summer, she's walking downstairs and she sees that Milo took a doo-doo, left a little treat under the pool table. So she go and let the people in the house know. Boy, Alex said, house meeting in Preston's room. Preston's like, we're not doing another house meeting. We done been here 4 days and already had 2 house meetings. We're not doing it no more. All y'all gotta go do is tell that girl that the dog downstairs. And Silas, he upset because he's like, oh, the dog. And he was like, so Preston was like, why don't you just tell her? He's like, well, it'd be good for you to stand up and say something. You my line brother. He was like, you're literally making the situation worse. Like, be an adult and say something. You passed her room to come to rob my room. But the thing is, Silas, he said, he's basically like, I'm tired of eating it, basically being the bad guy all the time. Because Silas is always the one saying something to Bria, and then they previously got into it. So he's like, he's basically not trying to touch that stove again. Because like, Bria is one of those girls who goes off so much that people are like, okay, like, when there's always that one person that is always exploding with stuff that makes other people feel like, I don't want to be the one to cause a confrontation, like, oh, say one thing, she's gonna blow up. Like, I hate people like that, where they're so reactive that people around them literally feel like, well, let's not, let's not do this stuff because how she get, and it's just kind of like, man, F that. Like, this person need to act, mature and grown. But Alex ended up being the one to tell Bria, and she was like, oh, he did? She's like, I don't know when he could have did that. And literally, as Preston and Silas are going back and forth, she goes downstairs and clean it up, no biggie. And so he goes in the room with Jasmine, basically like telling her about how he felt. And she's like, just stay in here because like it's already handled. Like, don't worry about it. So the girls go downstairs, they start talking to Jordan about Amir. Jordan once again is getting hounded with the Amir, do you like him? She's like, he's cool, nothing big. It's whatever. Jasmine, I need you to stop playing producer. That's what I really want you to stop doing. From the minute everybody walked in the house, even at the first dinner, Jasmine was like, so is anybody into anybody? And it was like, damn, it's the first night. Like, can we all at least get to know each other first before we talk about who's in the who? Like, I think Jasmine just so badly, like, I get it. It's the first season, it's a show. The producers, I'm sure, with them being the host, are looking at them to kind of be the ones to curate everything. But Jasmine, don't you turn into being controlling like Silas, try to control everybody and play, Martha's Vineyard matchmaker. Like, that's not your job. So yeah, they were just down there talking. They ended up talking because Shanice is back. I forgot to tell y'all, Shanice is back. She came back that next morning when everybody was waking up, and she looked at Alex and was like, hey Alex. He's like, welcome back, Shanice. So she not feeling Alex because, Bria told her about how he basically got all the information about, the whole stalking situation with her ex. So she just kind of like, I'm cool off Alex, I don't really want to talk to him. He's got this opinion of me, like, But here go Jasmine once again playing producer. Well, you really should talk to him about that. And it's like, it's not necessary to. But once again, for the sake of the show and for the sake of, Jasmine always pushing somebody to have a conversation that's unnecessary, she gonna do it later on. She's like, you just don't want it to, go unsaid or whatever. So yeah. The ladies, they're, doing their little spa treatment and whatnot. Do I feel like I missed anything else? Oh, Shanice basically talking about, the guy that she ended up hooking up with. Once again, another basketball player. He brought the big D. And it's like Shanice is a glutton for punishment. Shanice is a girl who is a glutton for punishment. You sit there talking about you could, I do feel bad for her in regards of like dealing with the threatening and all that type of stuff. I do feel like people be doing sometimes the mostest on social media with the death threats and stuff like that. Like that's how are y'all getting to the extent of looking at the TV and it's taking you to that extent of feeling like you're gonna offer somebody or like a celebrity, like you love a celebrity so much that you offering, like to take somebody out or like somebody should take themselves out. Like that's a lot. So I don't like the fact that she dealt with that. But girl, you did admit to half of it. You did. You said that, you know what, I did do that. So like, yeah, he might have said some stuff and maybe exaggerated it. But at the base of things, girl, you did have that crazy stalker shit. Like, admit that. Shanice is slightly crazy. It's in there, is all I'm saying. Like, I can see it. So yeah, so everybody gets dressed. They go out and the guys, they have their night, the girls, they have their night. The girls is turning up, getting, taking the shots. The drinks look good. So the guys' night, they start talking, and so Silas is like, oh, so what happens at the table stays at the guy's table. And he was like, well, with us being here, I'm still on routine, I'm still, operating how I usually operate, but it just kind of seems like Jasmine, she's, waking up later, hanging out with the girls, not getting up. And, I usually operate, she usually wakes up, makes breakfast for us. And so Nick was like, so to sum it up, where's my food? Where's my breakfast? And it's like, yeah, basically that's what you're saying. And so when he says it, when you call something blatantly what it is and it sound bad, it's because it is bad. Silas didn't, for Nick to just sum it up, literally be like, so in summary, where's my breakfast? And you could tell on Silas' face, he didn't want to just be like, yeah, but that's what it was. Cause like, you see how crazy that sounds, Silas? To be like, oh, we're on vacation. She's acting like too much like she's on vacation. And then for him to be like, well, I could have went down there and make it, but that's not our routine. Bruh. Like Jason said, y'all just got married. Can y'all operate a little bit before y'all talk about whose place is what, especially on vacation? You're mad that you're on vacation and she's acting like she's on vacation? Like, Silas, grow the fuck up. Then he was like, then how you saw how he talking to Jason, then how this morning you saw how she burnt it. Like, there's no room for error with this man. And Jasmine, girl, you picked you picked the right one. He gonna drive you insane. That's what's gonna happen. So all the guys around are just like looking at Silas like, here go another reason why we call you controlling and a little bit overbearing. So in the midst of them talking, all of a sudden some shots get brought to the table, and they're like, wait a minute. And the lady sent over the shots, and everybody's like, you can't take them. Nope, can't take it. No, remember what you said, Silas? Because Silas asked, like, what do you think the girls are doing right now? And Preston was like, shoot, getting free drinks, twerking on the table. And the way he looked at Preston was hilarious. He was like, I think we should just check on the girls, We see on his phone he got location. He clearly gonna have location on Jasmine. But you get sent, drinks. They're like, nah, bro, you married. Matter of fact, show them your ring. They like, and he went to look at his hand, and everybody's like, wait a minute, bro, where's your ring? He's like, no, see, what happened was, we were playing basketball, y'all, we was working out, and I forgot to put it back on. It's all, like, Nick and Amir both were like, you getting on Jasmine about acting married and how she is, but then look at you, pot calling the kettle black, hypocrisy much, sir? So speaking of the girls, they over there getting lit. Jasmine over there, they dancing outside. Jasmine said, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna be free for all tonight because I don't get to go out with the girls often. And so they twerking outside, flipping over, peeing in the bushes. They end up, leaving, going to the house. The girls ain't ready for the party to stop. Bria and Shanice, they, thing one and thing two when it comes to the turn up. They go outside, skinny dipping, butt naked, drinks by the hot tub. The guys come, and so the girls are like back dressed at this point. And when they go outside, Nick tells Silas, "Hey, yo, go get your ring. Go get your ring, bruh." Silas will run upstairs. I personally think this is I didn't think about it, but out of watching Color Me Pink, shout out to Color Me Pink, I think she may be onto something. I think Silas didn't put on his ring because he didn't want to be the only married guy at the table full of single men. Like, I think he just didn't want to feel that, like, exclusion. I think he's all about being, like, the alpha guy of the guys. Like, he's always trying to take that place as leader. And, like, bro, you're not in the military. You're not platoon rank. Like, it's not your job to constantly try to enforce your dominance as you always being, like, the leader of stuff. Like, that's not your job. And then Jason, I forgot, he started talking to Jason a little sideways too, because he was like, "Oh, bruh, he was talking about him having sex or something like that with something." And he was like, "Bro, that's why you're not getting any, because at the end of the day, girls, they're, they got so much going on in their brain. Like, you don't have to, if you entertain it too much, you won't get none. Like, you're, like," and it was like, huh? Like, the way he said it, like, I didn't like it. He be saying some passive-aggressive shit when it come to that be showing how he feel about women. You're saying to Jason, girls half the time got so much going on in their brain that if you entertain it too much, like you're not supposed to entertain it too much. Like, he already is, like, belittling women in a way of feeling like, oh, y'all already got so much going on in their brain. Like, they emotional creatures. Like, niggas, men are hella emotional. Like, hella emotional. So yeah, but Jason's like, "Bro, I literally am dealing with the consequences of being out here, getting so, pay attention, like, keep up." So yeah, like I said, they get back to the house, and the men join. Silas go get his ring. So he asked Summer in the kitchen, "Well, were there guys there? Well, were there guys at the place?" She's like, "Were there guys at the restaurant?" Yeah, like, of course there were guys at the restaurant. Like, he is always, why are you so concerned? It doesn't matter if there's guys out. It matters if Jasmine remains being loyal to you. So I'm just going to assume with Silas being in the military, his ass probably previously got cheated on. That's what I'm gonna guess. I feel like Silas previously got cheated on, being, probably sent out, possibly. That's what I'm thinking. Or he just has a general lack of trust in women in general. But nonetheless, Jazz will walk in, and, Summer tells her what he was saying. And so Summer asked Silas, "Well, were there girls or whatever? Were there girls around it?" And Jazz was like, Jazz was like, "Don't answer that question, because I don't care." And I was like, that needed to be said. Like, Jasmine had to be like, "I don't care. Like, I don't care." I don't care. Like, point blank period. Hey, Polo, shh. So, they're outside, and Shanice decided she just wanted to let the titties hang out. She was like, "Free the nipple." And Simon, Bria's boy, her man, was there. And when it did happen, I kind of was like, ugh. And the only reason I'm thinking that, y'all, truth be told, is because as a friend, I'm not going to get naked in front of my friend's dude. Like, that's just a line I'm not going to cross. Nor should I think anybody cross if that's really your friend. Like, that has the opportunity to present, a very sticky situation. Polo. Shh. It has the opportunity to blur some lines and just to cause some havoc, potentially. That's how I feel. Like, if Shanice wants to get naked around a whole bunch of single men, so be it. But when there's men who are in relationships, I'm just one of those people who would respect that. So Bria sees it and was like, "Oh, for real? This what we doing?" And so she's heated. She is mad. She stomping, go upstairs. Y'all know how Bria is. Bria got anger issues. That's what Bria is, manipulative and got anger issues. Preston made me laugh when Shanice fell not fell, but she kind of stumbled. He was like, "Girl, go to bed. Take your ass to bed." So Bria, she's still screaming back and forth about Shanice until she basically falls asleep, wakes up the next day, starts it all over again, talking about, "Oh my gosh, Shanice, she shouldn't have did that. She's just so out of line." Then Simon, you sitting there watching her, and then y'all some fake ass friends, y'all let her do it. And it's like, what was the house supposed to do? Like, what were they supposed to say to her, for one? And for two, like, you're going around telling everybody but Shanice. Like, once again, it's like she kind of has this like rallying mentality. But Shanice, she was like, "Oh, apparently Bria's mad at me, but I'm confused because, like, girl, we've skinny dipped with my ex before. Like, this, now all of a sudden you upset." But, Bria, I think, is one of the people who likes being upset and likes popping off on people. She enjoys confrontation. So I guess, I forgot what happened, but I think in this next spot is when they were trying to move a table, like, outside. And of course, Silas being Silas, he started directing and telling people, and everybody's kind of like, "Yo, you're coming off a little condescending right now. Like, I don't know if you hear yourself, but, bring it down a couple of notches." And so Silas is like, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't help it because, as a platoon leader, even the things that seem like common sense were responsible for breaking down." And Jason's like, "Okay, yeah, understood, but, like, I'm also not dumb. Like, I know I can how to move a table. Like, everything doesn't require, officer military Silas, reports to show up." Like, I feel like Silas always feels like it's his responsibility to take the charge and be, and like, that's where that controlling nature comes in. Because, like, you're constantly trying to put yourself in positions of leadership when it's not necessary. Nobody asked you to be in the leadership position. Like, that's first of all. But because of that happening, he goes upstairs to Jasmine and was like, you left, and then you're okay with them basically feeling like this is how I am, and you let them think that of me." And she's like, "Bro, I'm not even entertaining this, because, like, how are you mad? You're blaming Jasmine for what other people think of you. Your actions is what makes people think of you, the things that they do, and you're trying to, like, project that onto Jasmine as if she's allowing that to happen." And that's where I was like, Silas, he got these ways. And then they start changing and getting dressed. And speaking of, y'all see Jasmine, she wanted to bang with Silas in the closet. And because the night before he was like, "Oh, I wanted to tell you that, some girls sent the shots over to the table, and then the waiter brought us shots." And she's like, "Oh, you could have been drugged." And he was like, "Why are you so dramatic?" And she was saying that on purpose, because that's always the shit that Silas be saying to her. Like, you could get drugs, so yeah, nigga, you could have got drugged. Why'd you take them drinks? But she wanted to do the nookie in the closet, and Silas was like, "No." I feel like Silas is hella boring. I feel like when he got mad at her because she was quiet, when people was complaining about them being loud, and when she started being quiet, he was like, "I can't do it. Like, I can't get there without you making noise." And it's like, so you need a performer. Silas needs a performer. That's so sad. Like, Jasmine can't be quiet when y'all doing the do for you to be able to, like, bust on. Like, that says a lot about you, Silas. Yikes. But yeah. It was crazy that he said that. So everybody's getting ready for the rose, party, and Summer, she don't like Shanice. When Bria lets Summer know, like, "Oh my gosh, Shanice, showing her titties, got naked in front of my man," Summer was like, "Of course she did." Like, I think Summer views Shanice exactly like, girl, she ain't got no substance. All she do is be out here wanting attention from men. That's so sad. That's how Summer looks at Shanice. So they're doing a little rose party. Summer lets Jasmine know that Bria basically was talking about she not going. And so she's like, "What? Bria upstairs still mad and talking about I'm not going. Shanice, she did all this in front of Simon, and that's just so foul. And the rest of the house, y'all messed up for letting her do it. So Jasmine's getting ready, and Silas is like, "Oh, that's a nice dress. That's cute." He's like, "Where you get that from?" And he's like, "Oh, I bought it." He's like, "Oh, I bought all these dresses." I said, "He buying all her clothes now?" Oh, I see what type of nigga you are. You're the like, oh, I'm gonna conform her to the to fit me type of nigga. Like now you're buying her wardrobe. She's got a routine of waking up cooking for you. You're buying her wardrobe. It's very rare that we see men buying clothes for the women, not and to the extent of like a wardrobe. So that just goes to show like he's constantly looking for areas in which he is flexing his, control in Jasmine's life. Her wardrobe. Then you talk about, oh, wear flats. You need to wear bottoms, like, cause we're in the grass. And she's like, well, all I have is heels. So like he was so upset that she wore heels. Like, well, I'm just letting you know. Well, okay, nigga, if she want to wear heels and she got a tiptoe, then so be it. Like he's always looking for ways to flex like some type of dominance, and the shit is annoying and it's very unhealthy. Jasmine girl, you are in for a rude awakening. Um, so yeah. So everybody's downstairs and they're at the table. Alex calls Jordan thick. She didn't know what to say. He also was like, well, I just think we didn't get to know each other because, everybody was trying to put stakes on you. And, she was like, what you mean? He was like, well, Amir, I just felt like, good for Amir. But, it kind of opened up later that, we got to know each other. So now Jordan's kind of feeling like, didn't I tell y'all niggas I didn't want to talk to nobody? And so it's like, yikes. Now here go another issue for next week. And then we end the episode with Shanice flopping titties on, basically on the balcony, and everybody's like, here we go again. Shanice was being facetious, and she definitely was like kicking it to Bria. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it then. But Shanice is a glutton for punishment because it's like, girl, like you already got a bad reaction the first time. Like you're seriously gonna do it again? Like, come on. And then that's where the episode ended. So next week we see Silas and Jasmine get into it again because he tried to call her stupid, talking about she can't iron and stuff. And I was like, what? Oh, they was to go play tennis. Shanice and Alex and them. But did nothing really happen there. But yeah, you guys, that was Martha's Vineyard. Y'all tell me how you feel about the episode. How do you guys feel about Jasmine? Y'all feel like she was regretting getting married to Silas? Do you guys feel like Jordan is not really gonna give Amir, any play? And what do you feel about all of the characters in the house so far? Who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite? I really fucks with Preston. Preston's my favorite. Yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.